saw some of these up at the
I think they're called snowdrops. Welcome back to Golden or Woodland Farm. I'm Keith. It is Friday, March 18th, and they got the windows and the siding on the porch side here. Still waiting for doors, but there'll be a walk door here. Still waiting for the overhead garage doors. The electrician will be in on Monday morning to rough in ceiling lights up here, and they'll put the ceiling in hopefully Monday or Tuesday next week, and then they can work on some of the other trim. Again, these posts will be trimmed out in black to match the rest of the trim. It is Thursday, March 24th. Lots of progress going on here at the farm. I was able to find a dump truck driver who didn't have any problems bringing a triaxle load of gravel up the road. So he brought in, I don't know, about 100 tons of crushed concrete yesterday. So it looks like I have my work cut out to spread that around. Also, Greg and his guys were out yesterday and did a lot of the trim on the porch, and so they got the ceiling on Monday of this week. The electrician came out early Monday morning and roughed in the electrical for ceiling lights, and then they put the ceiling up, and super happy with how that came out. And then they got these posts trimmed out yesterday, so super happy with how it's coming out. And today they're going to work on getting the ridge cap covered up. They haven't put the ridge vent on yet. You can see there's a gap up there. So we've been waiting for I wanted to put fall protection up. I haven't been up on the roof yet, but I'm not getting any younger, and especially since we're going to have solar up on the roof, I'm not sure how often I'll have to get up there. And I figured if we could put some sort of permanent fall protection anchor up while we're doing the construction, then at least if I need that in the future, it'll be up there. So what I have here is Super Anchor Safety number 28815. It's a stainless steel, and it goes up under the ridge vent. So it gets mounted before they put the ridge vent up, and then ridge vent covers most of it up, and then you just have these D-rings exposed, and and then you can clip into it if you need to. So we're gonna put 2 of those up, maybe a third of the way down each side of the roof, and then there's a clip on both sides of the roof, so whether you need to be on the south side or the north side, you'll have a place to clip in. And the idea is maybe a third of the way down on each side, on each end. That way you'll be able to cover the whole roof with protection. So they'll get that up today, and then we're shooting for about 10 days from now, not this coming weekend, but the following weekend, to hopefully start putting the solar panels up on there. The brackets are already up there, so that's an update on where things stand. Well, I've got some IBC Tote bladders. We took these bladders out of the totes to use the totes for firewood, and we're gonna use these to put around some of the elderberries that we have back in the woods, hopefully to keep the deer and rabbits, mostly the deer, from chewing off the elderberries while they're small. So I'm going to cut the tops off, and then cut a little hole in the bottom, and then we'll load them up in the truck and head over, and then we'll end up probably having to adjust the hole in the bottom to put around the elderberry. I planted the elderberries last year. Some of them did okay, but the enclosures that I had the bird netting around a lot of the ones back in the woods, and between the animals and the stilt grass and a bunch of stuff, a lot of that has come down. And since we have these, we're going to try this, and also hopefully control some of the stilt grass and the other weeds growing up around the elderberries. I was able to make pretty quick work with the Sawzall, a little blade. These totes had mulch dye in them, so cut the tops off and put a little hole in the bottom. And so we'll have to see if we need to make that hole any bigger for the elderberries. But like I said, that should both keep the weeds down as well as the deer, hopefully from eating them. And so we'll load them up in the truck. And then what I'll do is, there's the tops. May use the tops to put on the top, cover up the firewood that's in the totes that have the bladders out. Got a lot of stuff here in the truck today. We've got a couple IBC Tote bladders we've cut off to use for a perimeter around some of the elderberries back in the woods. We've got a roll of geotextile we're going to put down before we spread some gravel. What we're going to do with the geotextile to start, I start over here and get out the new track loader. This will be my first project with the track loader. We're going to try to smooth that out a little bit, put the geotextile down, and then spread that crushed concrete over it, and then work our way around to this side of the building, and put some of that down to backfill up against the side of the building. So those are our first projects for today. Make sure you can get by that tree.
Yeah, I can get by the tree, but definitely can't.
Okay.
What were you picking it up for?
Well, because it has a big... Yeah. Yeah, now I gotta go over a little bit, so we don't hit the building.
Okay. Well, here we are.
Well, I ran the skid loader for the first time and got this kind of pretty well filled in, and then over here got this pretty well filled in as well. Obviously need a lot more work to do, a lot more practice, but for the first time I'm pretty happy with it. They've been in, they did the doors yesterday. These aren't the finished, the final doorknobs, but the doors are in. and pretty happy with how they came out. And so here's the porch, and the ceilings up there. You can see the trim a little bit, and the windows. We set some chairs out here. Just obviously they're not going to go with this, but and then the other walk door on this side. Then I got some of this gravel spread around. And they got the ridge vent on. Beautiful weather for March 25th. Had days in the 70s, almost 80. This is about the third time today that it snowed. I think it's supposed to be below 20 tonight, maybe the next 2 nights. Windy. Some of the plants are budding out. These multiflora roses are already starting to leaf out. Going down here to see if I can find Jake, who's working on the elderberries. He's trying to redo the enclosures for them. See if when they start sprouting this year, the deer don't just eat them all off. I'm towing one of these IBC Tote bladders that we cut the tops off, pull down the IBC Tote for the use for firewood. And we're going to try using some of these for containers or enclosures for the elderberries. Hopefully do 2 things: keep the deer from eating them off, and also maybe control some of the weeds, the stilt grass, and the other things that are trying to compete with them. I gotta turn this off. It's full concentration to get up this hill. It's pretty slippery. So Jake's been out in the elderberry patch, tightening up our bird netting that we have around the elderberries because they're starting to sprout. He's done a great job. I brought 2 of those IBC Tote bladders out, put them around 2 elderberries. So hopefully that will both keep the deer off of them and also maybe keep the stilt grass down. So we'll see. But the elderberries are starting to sprout. So here's an elderberry. There's another one here. There's another one here. These were quite a bit bigger, but they got browsed off by deer. Another one there. Another one here. So these did pretty well. We had, I think, 80 or 90 of them planted all through here. Couldn't find any down in that area there. We did find some up in here. I hadn't really done anything with these last year after we planted them, and I wasn't sure if any of them had come up, but we did find some in here. So hopefully redoing the enclosure. Here's one here, one here, and here's one put down inside this. We're going to try that out, see how that works. There's a few more down that way. Yeah, so we'll see. They sprouted. Some of them sprouted, which is great. Obviously didn't need 90 of them, so if we get 15 or 20, that'd be fantastic.